Namaskar to all. Respected Dr. Purushottam Ma'am, respected Shailaja Jayiraman, and revered S.N. Kulkarni and Sri Mudrik Desai ji, beloved sisters and brothers. Let me start my presentation with an incident took place during an interaction like this, but it was a journalism workshop held in Kerala. While my speaking presentation was going on, I quoted an example to put forward one of my ideas before them. It was regarding an incident took place in 2006 November 28. 2006 November 28. On that day, around the clock, all the medias, irrespective of their color, irrespective of their religious affinities, irrespective of their political, ideological leanings, they were all showing, writing, discussing about one and only one news, that was bail granted for Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay Dutt has been awarded bail after a long 13 years. Many of you may, I don't know whether how many of you are remembering it, and I am quite sure that the elders among you, sure they are remembering that incident, because that was very much discussed during that period in the media. संजय दत्त, who is संजय दत्त, इसके बारे में आप सबको मालूम है. He is a known film star, son of none other than Sunil Dutt and Nargis Dutt. So he is very well known star, in the real sense of the word, a star. He was caught 13 years before for some bad reasons. I don't want to describe about all those things before you. Time is also very much, what you say, our time span is much less, so I can't go much regarding those cases and things. One thing, he has got an illegal weapon with him, AK-47 with him, so many pistols were with him. He was carrying drugs, and he has got some illicit relations with the international don Dawood Ibrahim, and many of the investigation officers are complaining that he has got some relation in Mumbai blast and all that. He was caught according to the Tada law and put behind the bars, and on 2006 November 28 he got freedom, he got bail. It was after 13 years. Media was carrying it like anything. I also was following it on that day. And in the night, while I was browsing through the BBC site, one particular news came across me, and that was regarding Zohair Faisal, killed in an encounter in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir. Zohair Faisal is a notorious criminal, most wanted criminal of Hizbul Mujahideen. He has been killed And during that operation, the leader of the Indian military squad action team, Major Manish Pitambare, an young officer, was also killed. And 4 others injured. Many of the militants were caught. That news came in BBC, British Broadcasting Committee's site. And it was quite strange for me. Manish Pitambare, who led an action against a most wanted criminal of Hizbul Mujahideen, why our media peoples highlighted, why don't they highlighted this particular aspect, this particular news? That haunted me for a long time. I put this 2 news before the media workshop, a new media persons, and I asked them why the media of the modern times are not highlighting such news. You may know, during the bail trial in the court, Sanjay Dutt and Sanjay Dutt's advocate has put before the judge so many points. One of them was he is the lone breadwinner of this family, and that poor man, his daughter studying in America, needs his help for her monthly fees and all things. So it is not on the basis of humanitarian consideration, it is not good for him to be kept in the jail for more. So he has to be put out. He has to be granted bail. Those are the arguments. What all cases are put over, alleged against him, that I have given you some examples. But what about Manish Pitambare? Manish Pitambare was a genius par excellence during his studies. After completing his school, he joined the NDA. Many of his friends and relatives were persuading him to join, to pursue for medicine or engineering or something like that. But he was very much adamant to join military. In NDA coaching also, he passed out with colors, flying colors, and he joined in the military. And he became major suddenly he was appointed as an officer. And after completing some 7 or 8 or 10 years in military, many of his relatives and friends requested him to request before the military officers to grant him transfer from Jammu Kashmir, such a dangerous place. It is his right also. It was his right to request for a transfer. But Manish Pitambare, he was continuously telling that Jammu Kashmir needs me, so I am there. I will be there. I will not request transfer. On 2006, November 26, he got from his reliable sources that Zohail Faisal, a HM terrorist, had entered Jammu Kashmir in some particular place near Anandnag. He is stationing and he is planning for an action against Indian centers. Some Indian centers or Indians, naturally these militants who are provoked by some religious faiths. What they are doing, no one could predict. So he may attack any centers and kill many people. That information came before Manish Pitambare and he planned for the counteraction. But during that period, especially in that area, there was no such reported calamities took place. So the military was not having that preparation. So the senior officers actually dissuaded him from an action. But Manish Pitambare was adamant. He did the action with a reduced ammunition and less number of commandos. But he won in that action. He killed this Zohail Faisal. But during that action, he was killed by another militant, and that militant was caught also. When I put these points before the media peoples assembled there, the students who were there, they were very much what you say, it's a strange occasion. Manish Pitambare has to be, his name has to be given much importance in the papers and media. Why these people are giving Sanjay Dutt? To my astonishment, many of the students started speaking like this. Actually, I thought that those young students may be against me. They may vote for Sanjay Dutt. They may not vote for Manish Pitambare. That was my concern. I was, I was wrong at that point of time. But one thing happened that just after that, one man was sitting behind that, and I know him. He was a prominent media personality of Malayalam. After my presentation, he stood up first. After the presentations of the students, he stood up first. And he asked me a question that Mr. Nanda Kumar, who is this Manish Pitambare? Who knows? But we all know, we all are very much related to Sanjay Dutt. Our readers are also very much aware about Sanjay Dutt and his activities. But because Manish Pitambare is an unknown figure, we are not in a position to give him much prominence. Any of the Malayalam papers gave any coverage to Manish Pitambare, but that gentleman was telling that we can't give much prominence. I didn't dispute with him, but I generally asked him one question. Quoting his name, I asked him, "Sir, you please answer my question as a father, as a brother, as an uncle. Which news you want to give before, publish before, put before your son, before your daughter, before your younger brother, younger sister? Is it regarding this particular criminal, this Sanjay Dutt, or a person sacrificed his life for our tomorrow? A person sacrificed this today for our tomorrow. Which one you want to give publicity in your paper?" That man luckily didn't give any answer. I want to put this question, this incident before you, who may think that as a media person, as I have been introduced here, why this man is talking like this, why this person is putting these things just against the present day media. You may not be misunderstood that I am as a professional journalist. I have been given this responsibility as a national social worker only. I am heading a weekly which doesn't come under the present day media concerns. What is the present day media concept? That is the second incident I want to put before you. Some days back, in Kerala, much of my examples are from Kerala only, one big training camp for the new journalists took place. And in that journalist training class, the head of the particular media house which convened that training camp, while giving his keynote address, the first sentence and the first upadesha, can we put that in that way? Upadesha for the junior journalist. The media head was telling that you have to prepare news which are easily saleable. You have to prepare news, बेचने लायक news बनाना चाहिए. You have to prepare, you have to make news which are easily saleable. So according to him, newspaper and media is just a commodity only. And this media world, media universe is a market only. And he was saying that you have to prepare news as a commodity. At that particular moment, I remember one another media barons quoting. He was telling, newspaper is a commodity. This is the modern media concepts or media explanation regarding the newspaper and the virtual media. But as far as I am concerned, am not subscribing to that idea. Or I have been given this responsibility by the persons who are owning this, that as it has been put, the most circulated weekly of Kerala. Those persons who are concerned with that, they are not of that idea. What they are thinking about the media, that is what which I am going to put before you. They are thinking that media should be independent. Media peoples, there are three overriding consideration before media. That is my concept and my people's concept. This particular 3 points which I want to explain before you, these overriding considerations have been put before the media by none other than Mahatma Gandhiji. As you all are very much aware about Gandhiji's media activities, he made use of media as a powerful weapon against the British Empire. Media, those media persons, Mahatma Gandhiji, Lokmanya Tilak, Veera Savarkar, Dr. Hedgewar, they were all media personalities also. They make use of media as a powerful weapon against the empire, British Empire. And while he was writing about journalism in his India opinion, Mahatma Gandhiji at a particular point headed 6 media or publications. Indian Opinion, Harijan, Young India, like that. In Indian Opinion, he wrote that there should be 3 overriding considerations before journalists, every journalist. First is, they should be independent. Second, they should adhere to truth always. They adhere towards truth always. Third one is, they should keep their self-restraint always. You may just compare these 3 statements or 3 underlying principles of journalism which has been put before the media persons or journalism or nation by none other than Mahatma Gandhiji with the media activities of present day. Please consider it. You please recall the incident which I tried to put before you regarding Manish Pitambare and Sanjay Dutt. You please compare it with that newspaper baron who was telling that newspaper is no more a service, it is a commodity. But Gandhiji was telling that the main aim of the newspaper, the main sole aim for journalism should be service. This also may, you may think that it is a strange thing, what journalism is. But Gandhiji and all nationalistic minded peoples, nation first thinking peoples are taking journalism, doing journalism work as service only. Why they are giving much importance for the service? Because we are the citizens of a nation which was founded on the principle of service. Again I want to repeat, we are all the citizens of a nation which was founded on the bedrock of service, the great idea. You are all aware about Swami Vivekanandaji's work towards our nation. While giving a speech regarding nation and how nation was formed, Swami Vivekananda gave a very specific succinct definition for nation. And that definition is very much circulated, and we are all aware about this Swami Vivekananda's quote. With the Swami Vivekananda's photo, everywhere you can find that particular quotation. Swamiji put before the audience that specifically youths and students were in that audience, and he put before him that renunciation and service are the national ideals of this nation. If you want to strengthen this nation, strengthen her in those channels and rest will take care of itself. I think it is quite relevant nowadays also, and it is quite relevant for any national activities. If you are considering journalism as a nationalistic activity, if you are considering the media work as a nationalistic activity, you should follow this quotation, this teaching also. Swamiji was telling renunciation and service, tyaga और समर्पणा, त्याग और सेवा राष्ट्र के, इस देश के आधारभूत तत्वों से मुख्य इंपॉर्टेंट तत्व है. अगर आपको इस देश को मजबूत बनाना है तो, if you want to strengthen this nation, strengthen her in those channels and rest will take care of itself. Renunciation and service, राष्ट्र के लिए, समाज के लिए त्याग करना चाहिए. You have to think what you can give to the nation. Most luckily we got a prime minister who was telling always like this point, always, on and often he was repeating these words. For our luck, we got such a prime minister. Narendra Modi usually tells that you have to think always about what we can give to the nation, what we can give to the public, what we can give to our fellow beings, what we can give to our nature, what we can give to our God. There is a grand connection in between this all. We are not all alone in this world. Someone are thinking the so-called materialistic ideological persons are thinking that we are all alone here. We have to struggle for our existence. After all, the powerful will survive. सर्वे करने वाला तो शक्तिमान हो जाएगा, इसलिए हम अपने आप शक्ति, अपने आप इकट्ठा करने के लिए कोशिश करना. We have to strive for our power only, our strength only. We are going to survive. Here is a struggle going on. So, if you want to survive as the person, you have to kill others, you have to eradicate others, you have to annihilate others, you have to work against others. There is nothing of that sort which you have to give to the nation, give to the service, give to the public, give to the fellow beings, give to the nature. But our Indian philosophy, Bharatiya philosophy is telling that akhanda mandala akaram vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namah. Why these Sanskrit slokas in journalism, media, you may think that. You have to find this connection. You have to find this divine grand connection between us and the surroundings, between Veshti and Samashti. So when we are thinking, when we got that connection in between that, the most modern physics is going on in that direction. There is a grand connection with us, among us. The holistic connection in between us, we are not alone. So if you want to live, if your society has to live, you should try to give something to the nation. Because of that only Swami Vivekananda told us that if you want to strengthen this nation, if you are thinking seriously about strengthening this nation, you have to serve the nation. You have to renunciate your life for the welfare of the nation. That is Swamiji's comment. Strengthen her in those channels. What channels? Service channel. No other channel is going to help you. Whether it is V channel, whether it is M channel, whether it is Murdoch channel, whatever it may, it will not help you and it will never help you. Only one channel will help you. So Swamiji and Gandhiji and those persons' name I have mentioned like Veera Savarkar, K.V. Hedigewar, Dr. Hedigewar, Dinadayal Upadhyay, they are all connected with journalism in this particular aspect, and they used to say that the sole aim of journalism should be service. And the third particular point which all those persons were specifically, continuously mentioning was, the true function of journalism is to educate the public mind, not to stock it with wanted and unwanted impressions. wanted and unwanted impressions or information. That is not the purpose of the journalism, purpose of the media. If you are stalking their mind with unwanted impressions, it will sure create a havoc in them and they will be taken away by those negative thoughts. A small example, some years back in a city of our nation, in a city, one NGO conducted a survey among the girls studying in the women's colleges in that city, in the hostels, women's hostels. In that in that survey performer, there was a particular question, whom you want to marry? This survey has happened some years back, and during that time, especially in the South India, including your Karnataka, all of our medias are covering Veerappan like anything. Veerappan's, what a courageous person he is, what a mustache he has got. All these things are being covered, and how women are after him. That type of, so many news were covered up by the media people at that time. You may be astonished to hear me. In that particular survey, 88% of the girls residing, I'm not blaming those girls who are sitting here, but those poor girls who are studying at that particular period, an option has also been given. Option has also been given in that question. So many celebrities, and in that, Veerappan's name was also there. 88% of them answered Veerappan. That was their answer. That is why these great people are telling that you may not stop the reader's mind with unwanted impressions. This is an unwanted impression. Why these media persons are doing this? They are giving Charles Sobraj much publicity. They are giving much publicity to Veerappan. During that period, in our Kerala, I still remember the main purpose, having lakhs of copy subscription, circulation, in a short span of 45 days. Those period also have got some interest in this media field, so I counted. In a short span of 45 days, the main newspaper, 2 newspapers having lakhs of copy circulation, they have given 4 photos, big photos, to the top to the bottom, and giving all this, what is the advantages of Veerappan. How not these poor minds, this not that formed clearly. I am not blaming the youngsters, but blaming the so-called irresponsible media persons who are giving this unwanted impression, and their minds were being impressed by this news. Or being impressed. Lot of examples are there to tell before you. So, the media shall not stop the reader's mind with unwanted impressions, unwanted information. They should concentrate on how they can be educated, how they can be given the greatest principles of renunciation and service and the nationalistic thoughts. It's a very big responsibility, a very important responsibility of the media. I don't want to elaborate much before you, but one thing which, before concluding, I want to put before 1, 2, 3, 4 some points too. In Hindu, once Gandhiji was invited in Hindu, and Gandhiji gave a message to them. And in that message, one sentence is very much popular. Many of you who have got any interest in journalism might have read it many a times. Journalism should never be prostituted. It was written by Gandhiji, and he has used this harsh word about now present day journalism, present day media. And why he wrote such a sentence, such a message in Hindu, I don't know exactly the reason. Some among you may knew it very particularly, I don't know exactly. But he told it that journalism should never be prostituted for selfish ends. Never be prostituted for selfish ends or for the sake of merely earning a livelihood, or worse still, for amazing money. Just to recall, just to remember those things which I have mentioned you in the outset while I am presenting these views. Nowadays our Indian media field particularly, they have been taken away by the persons, those who are doing that bad thing, that immoral thing, that anti-social thing with Mahatma Gandhiji has cursed in our media field. Gandhiji has cursed such journalists as what that particular name I have mentioned. But nowadays it is going on like that only. Day before yesterday, in a prominent daily of Malayalam, there was a heading. 2 days there was some news in that particular daily having the biggest, largest circulation in the whole India nation. 2 days before, their main news was China is going to attack us. Main heading. China is going to attack us. From where they have got that particular news, we don't know exactly. But they are telling that, and they are giving minute details of the Chinese army movement, troop movements. How weak our army. These things are being elaborated like anything. And in the corner, India is going to script a history in the space science. In the corner, a small news was there. Why they are giving this China attack news? A kalpita katha. हो सकता है, it is quite natural that China is doing this incursion for the last several years. It is continuing, it is there. Nothing new about it. But why they give that such a great publicity coverage for that, in order to shadow this news? See how they are prostituting their sacred job. Yesterday, I was watching what they are going to give, how they are going to cover the news of this our mom. Mom कभी भी निराश नहीं करता है, ऐसा नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने बताया. Mom, what is mom? That you know, Mars orbiter, that mission. कभी पुत्रों को हमको निराश नहीं करता है, ऐसा नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने बताया. How they are going to cover it? I was, what is a very much in, after reading the title, I became ashamed to be a Malayali, because that biggest paper, they gave the cover, very good coverage, a banner heading. But in Malayalam it was like this, Chowwa Khosham. Chowwa Khosham. I asked Raghunandan ji and our Raghavendra ji, what in Jyotisham in Karnataka, what is there the particular name, particular word for Kuja's bad drishti on peoples? Kuja dosha, ऐसा कहते हैं, है ना, ठीक है? Kuja dosha. If in any of your Carnatic vernacular newspaper, if it has been given the heading Kuja Ghosha, ऐसा लिखा है तो आपके मन में पहला आने वाला word कौन सा होगा? It has got a resemblance with Kuja dosha. In Malayalam, Chowwa dosham, it is very popular. Why? Chowwa dosham is a very known persons. Those persons, man or male, having Chowwa dosha will not get married. That is the main trouble. It is a most inauspicious thing. Chowwas and means Kujas, this drishti, in a particular angle. I don't know exactly what this Jyotisha, but I used to hear this word Chowwa dosha. When I am reading this Malayalam heading Chowwa dosha, suddenly in my mind, what which our Mangalayan has achieved is somewhat a dosha. In order to inculcate that feeling, impression in us, they have selected that name. You see, in Kerala also, Mangala is being called as Chowwa. So that particular person who wrote that heading, formulated that title, could have easily write Mangala Kosha. But he wrote purposely Chowwa Kosha. For what? Just think about this. This is what is going on around us in this journalism field. But there are some persons, there are some institutions, there are some nationalistic mindset peoples who are trying to struggle against this. They are continuously trying to give the people nationalistic ideas. They are continuously trying to give them the mentality to serve the nation. They are continuously giving the news and views for renunciate for the nation. This should be the main purpose. This should be the mode of education through which peoples are being made by this media. Second thing, there are so many service, so many positive activities going on in and around us. But after going through the media, after going through the mainstream media, we will not get that impression that our society is also good. There are so much good things are going on around us. But the impression is exactly the reverse, exactly the opposite. But our expectation, as one among you, not as a chief editor of a weekly, our expectation from the media is they should give us the correct way to think about the nation, about the society, about the humanity. They should educate us to work for this nation, work for this society. They should educate, they should give news, give us courage and self-confidence to strive upward, go upward, to win in our, achieve victory in our life. For that purpose, we all should, what is our duty, that is also been given me a point. In a sentence I can put you, wherever you, I can put before you that idea also, that wherever in the media or in the print media or in the electronic media, we are finding something against this basic factors, you can react, you can question, you can complain. There are necessary arrangements under our constitution. There is Press Council of India. There are so many institutions to complain with. But the sad fact about this is many of us are not using that our opportunity to work against these type of activities, these type of anti-national activities going on against the nation, against the society through media. So I request you all to read, to watch with this mindset this media and journalistic activities. There are much to do, many things which we can do and act against these type of activities. So many people are collectively doing these things, and I humbly request you all to show that citizens' courage. Citizens' courage. We have got that right, and with that we can block, we can prevent this type of anti-national activities going on in the media, and for a better tomorrow, for a better life which we all have got the right, we have got the privilege to live with. Anyone who are doing against such thing. Okay, that from the outset itself, I want to put before you, I try to describe about my point of view regarding nowadays media. Nowadays, the media is not working according to the ethics which have been described or prescribed to the nationalist leaders like Gandhiji, Veera Savarkar and all. They were telling that media is a service. After all, media is being interpreted as the fourth pillar of this democracy. What is the purpose of that pillar? It should hold this democracy, hold this society. For that purpose, it should work independently. It should adhere towards truth and self-restraint. Three principles which in the outset, in the first example itself, I did describe that as my, my impression. What do you say? Did I say these three things? It should be independent, it should adhere towards to truth, and always self-restraint should be there. And secondly, I put before you, this is a nationalistic service. You should take this. It shall not be a business. It may be a strange thing before the media parents. But as far as I am concerned, and my ideology is concerned, media should be a service only. The media activity should be a service only. Thirdly, I put before you, first of all, 3 points were given. Second, it should be a nationalistic service. Third thing which Gandhiji has told, that media should educate peoples and it shall not stop them with unwanted impressions. What does it mean? Nowadays the media is stalking you with unwanted impressions and information. It is not at all expected from them. Let me give another example of Dr. Kalam. You might have heard it many a time. Many of you might have read Kalam's books. In Wings of Fire, he cited an example when he was going to Tel Aviv from India. While he was boarding, he read a newspaper of India. As usually in the main, there was a main heading that in Israel there was a disastrous attack by Mossad, the Muslim, by the PIL terrorists. And many people died, lakhs of rupees were lost, such and such things. After going through this news, Dr. Kalam thought that I could read much in detail after alighting there in Tel Aviv. With that preoccupied mind, Kalam, in a speech also he was telling, it was not much elaborated in that particular book. In a speech he elaborated that my mind was also being impressed or cultured by this news of Indian media. So I was very much eager to read the details about this attack of this Muslim fundamentalist group against the Jews in Tel Aviv. I will get news. But when he was landed there in Tel Aviv, he gone through many newspapers of Israel, and not even one newspaper has covered that attack news. He, in all pages he searched, in 7 or 8 pages of some papers, there was a small news regarding that attack, terrorist attack. Then he checked whether what has been given as a cover page news, main news in newspapers of Jerusalem, Israel, in each and irrespective of their inclination or their media houses or industrial, interest, all the newspapers have covered a news, a particular news. That particular news was about a farmer continuously, strenuously working on his piece of land, having some 10 or 12 acres of land, which was a desert-like land. He made it cultivable after 12 or 13 years of strenuous work. It has been given the coverage there. Kalam, with folded hands, before the journalists of India, has requested, please give a little coverage of this type of developmental activities, personal work for the welfare of the nation in our media also. So, I do stand, as far as I am concerned, my media perception is this. Nowadays it is not like that. The main media is somewhat drifting away from this Gandhian principle of Kalam's principle or Savarkar's principle. It is drifting away from these basic points.